A24, my favorite studio. I was so disappointed with your last movie, and then you went and made Zola.
And totally redeem yourself!
What is up, big fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking the brand new A24 film, and that is Zola, directed by Janicza Bravo. Can't wait to hear your all's thoughts in the comments down below. And this is a very basic premise. A stripper named Zola embarks on a wild road trip to Florida. This is based on a true story, but it's based on a series of Twitter threads a long time ago, and you can kind of see the time period where it takes place because they're raving about Vine, which was, you know, I did Vine. You guys remember when I did Vine and all those followers gone? Before I get into it, let me tell you what kind of movie we're dealing with here. It's a very raw and intense film in terms of just what we are soaking in as an audience, and the prime example of that is the fact that I walked in with 3 individuals, not with me, they were just kind of there. There were 4 of us watching the movie, and by the time it was over, I was all alone. So the older couple kind of across from me walked out during a very intense montage of sex scenes. And, you know, understandably so, maybe that wasn't something for them, but it's very clear. I mean, rated R for strong sexual content, graphic nudity. Come on, y'all, you gotta know what you're watching. And then the other person walked out, so, you know, it's a movie that's not really going to appeal to certain types of audiences just because of the source material, and there are some uncomfortable scenes, absolutely. So if you're going in wanting to watch something, you know, thoroughly entertaining, great time at the movies, it's the thrill of a blockbuster, that's not what it is. But that's not what it's intended to be. It's intended to make you feel that way. It's intended to show you a lot of this stripped down and raw content to kind of pull you into the world that these 2 girls are in and make you feel the fear that they are feeling all throughout the movie. Well, really all throughout the time that they are in Florida. And like the Florida Project, it represents its location so well. It feels very cinematic in a way that kind of represents the studio of A24. It's one of the most A24-y A24 movies I've ever seen. And it's so funny. Most of the time when I go in to watch a movie by the studio, something happens that makes me think that whoever's watching it with me just doesn't like it, right? When I watched A Ghost Story, during the pie eating scene, a bunch of people started walking out. And I'm like, that's really kind of what they're going for. And while this movie doesn't have a scene like that specifically, there are numerous scenes that just make you feel this sense of emotion that maybe you didn't expect. But again, I think that's the kind of string that it's trying to tug on. I believe this film is attempting to pull you in as far as it possibly can to make you feel for Zola and to allow you to look at Stephanie in this way, and then a character like Derek, played by Braun. We're looking at all of these characters and just the quirks that they have and how they're living their life in a way that makes it feel like they're just committed and they have nowhere else to go. My favorite performance in this film, you know, Keough, she is awesome. I love her every time she pops up. Taylour Paige, by the way. I mean, she really is the actor of note here. She is incredible as Zola. We saw her last year in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. She was a dancer in High School Musical 3. You remember that? Probably not. But we are really in her head. From the voiceover to just the way that she carries this story. And then we get this breaking the fourth wall element that happens every now and then. And it was just this really interestingly put together experience, and so many things happened that I just didn't expect to happen, not necessarily story-wise, but more so the way this movie's constructed, the way that it's pieced together. The sound design is incredible. So on a technical level, I loved it. The editing, all of that. But then you look at Colman Domingo's performance, and Colman Domingo has always had this edge about him. Going to being Candyman, one of my favorite performances in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, funny enough, and oh my god, it's terrifying what he manages to do here. He is haunting. He does this thing where he kind of falls into a different accent whenever he gets angry. They will be a part of something that would scar any normal human being for life, but it just looks and feels like he's enjoying it, and he does what he has to do. Now, my main criticism with this film is that, you know, the character development is there for Zola, absolutely. It does end in a place that I didn't feel fully satisfied with. I'll be flat honest with you. It does feel natural, and the progression is there, but I did want to know more. And once you dive deep into the tweets that this is based off of, you realize that they could have maybe given us just a bit more. Now, I did it after I saw the movie, but I think that may have actually hurt the story that we got the more stripped down and concise version. It's just a core down kind of what you're wanting from the film. Overall, as an experience, again, you just have to know what you're in for with this movie and know the studio. If you like A24 normally, then you're probably going to like this. If you don't, it's probably not going to be your cup of tea. And before I give you guys my score, what is your favorite A24 movie? And if you enjoyed this review and you'd like to help out this channel, be sure to drop your thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, that would be awesome. Zola is quite a trip, pun intended, because, you know, it's a road trip movie. The film is unexpectedly intense, extremely clever and raw, and the cast is top-notch, while, once again, Colman Domingo delivers a haunting performance. The sound design is incredible. When you look at cinematography, it does remind me of the Florida Project, and the A24 film Waves, just the color correction and the beauty that it is showcasing, but the story itself is just a lot more intense than anticipated. My score is a 76% for Zola, another really good A24 movie. They are very consistent with this, even though, like I said, I didn't love the last movie on Hulu. Regardless, I need you guys in the comments down below. Appreciate you again for watching, and I will see you in the next review.